the end. How do you want this to end?
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of my stuff I wanted to end on like a high note or a good note, right? So I think about how do we get to this happy place. I usually don't like it to end on like such a horrible, defeating story because I get to
Right.
make this up. I get to create this world. Why would I
Right.
create a horrible world, right? Why would I create a story that
interesting.
has like a bunch of murder and rape and stuff in it? That's
Right.
not the world I want to live in. So why would I need to recreate it? I get enough of that bullshit out here, right?
In reality.
So why would I create it? So I usually write stories that has conflict, but that like with couples, but they find some type of way to work that out, right? It's like think
Right.
about if you were to see like your parents have like a discussion that's bad, how would you want them to work that out? So I kind of think of that first as to how they work that out, and then I kind of start as like what was the catalysis, what was the start, what was the cause
Of course.
this problem that they had. But I've already decided how I want them to kind of solve it and work it out. But again, I'm the author. I get to create this
Yeah,
world. I get to
that's
create
true.
the solutions.
That's
So
true.
I always start from that. How do I want things to kind of happen? How would I wish that we'll kind of come together about a couple of
Right.
things? So that's why it's easy for me to write. And then when it's time to get a team together, I usually have people that I can rely on. Like, okay,
We here now.
I can get a camera, right?
We here now.
So, exactly
It's
right.
already
So we thought about
made
this
at the
on
right time.
Thursday, right? And here we are on Sunday already here. So
Yeah. I wanted to add on to something you were mentioning about, like, for me, like, you know, in Japanese cinema, I don't know if you've seen a lot of Japanese
yeah.
films. They do have a very meticulous way of how they end their films, and a lot of people have like misconceptions about what happens. So in a lot of like Japanese horror, they end like, have you seen Parasite in 2019 by Bong Joon-ho?
not yet, but I think I'm going.
Bro, but the ending is not exactly what you would want, right? But that's the thing about life, though. Everything, it's like sometimes you don't always end how we want, but then you look at the conflict as something beautiful, because then in that conflict where you see a character in disarray, you gotta realize, you gotta see it in a perspective that in that that specific situation he is, that specific predicament he is, will essentially have an end at a certain point, just like everybody else in reality. So that's how I look at films. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times you walk around Hollywood and there's a bunch of people that have like, they've been doing drugs in the past life. Now they crazy, screaming to themselves, screaming to the reflection instead. But you
How you
know,
looking at it?
some people, we look at him like, oh man, this man's fucked up. But then you could also look at it like, yeah, he's fucked up, but he's gonna get past it just like everybody else does. So it's more so like when I look at a film that ends in a negative mannerism, then it's like, oh yeah, it's just, this is reality. Not everyone gets the gold ticket, but they get a ticket that takes them even higher than the gold ticket. It's all about perspective. Like, you know, as Kendrick said in the Hard Part 5, bro, as he grew a little older, I started to realize that life is perspective, and my perspective may differ from yours. So I look at it like, you know, when you talk about a film, for instance, all of us might have 10 different ways to see one film. You know what I mean? I could see a film and say it's about the tree of life. And then someone could see a film and say it's a film about the horrors of life or the darkness in life. And then I see it as a whole different limelight, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's the most beautiful thing about cinema. For instance, you take the sequence from Godfather, right? There's that sequence when I think it was Don Corleone, and he was outside, and then there was the Statue of Liberty pointed that way. And then this is film history. This is film history. I know you know what I'm talking about, sir. And then there was that one figure when he's facing the Statue of Liberty, but then, you know, it's insinuating on the camera that he's putting middle fingers to America based off of that one shot. So it's more so about how you see it, and then that's how you can create a cinematic experience for everybody else to see it. But again, interpretation is how everybody sees it. So that's just adding on to what you said. I just see it like that most of the times. In terms of like Japanese cinema, they very like hard with what they talk about. Like their films are hard to watch and upsetting. And I've seen a lot of films, even by a filmmaker called Jasper Noé. He made a film called Climax in 2018, and then he made another film called Enter the Void in 2014, and that's a film about death.
Into the
So,
Void?
Enter
Isn't
the
that
Void.
that one where you supposed to watch off acid or some shit?
Yeah. It's about death. But what is introduced in the
oh, it
opening
is?
sequence, the
I'm glad
Tibetan.
I ain't finished that shit. I would have probably tripped the fuck
No,
out.
well, he did. I mean, look, let's take the opening sequence. This is called Spoiler Alert Podcast. So
Opening
I'm about
sequence
to-
was crazy.
I'm about to spoil some shit.
SWAT team came in.
For all of y'all, we're about to spoil some shit. But in Enter the Void, it's a film about the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and which was introduced in the opening sequence. So they were speaking about different notions of death and how you can see death in a different limelight. And then 20 minutes into the film, or about 15 or so, then his character actually meets his fate. So that's not really a spoiler. It's actually the whole message of the film. So literally through the film, you're going through different passages of his life. So like him growing up as a kid and shit, all that shit. It's
So
like
after
it
he got
becomes
smoked, what happened? What was
after
that?
he got smoked. Oh, that scene is crazy,
They go
bro.
into,
I
like,
wish
this
you had this
kaleidoscope
screen right
looking
now to show you, bro. So but it's cool though. I remember it very
see.
specifically. So this was what happened. It was at a party, and this is in Little Tokyo.
No. After he got smoked. Though.
After he got smoked, right? And then after he died, okay, well, I don't want to
Like-
spoil too much, though.
No, you gotta spoil it.
Oh, damn, it is spoiler
It's not-
alert.
It's not kinda spoiler alert.
All right, for sure. All right, for sure. All right, you know what happened in this movie? And then this man, he got shot. And then his sister was out here. His sister's like a stripper, a prostitute. So she was doing her things in the streets while he got shot. And then realized later that, oh my God, he died. And then it was a whole different thing. And then now the sister realized so you go through different fragments of their past together, because she's essentially realizing that he misses her brother. But then now fate is irreversible, which is another film from him. It's directed by 2000. It's in 2002. It's a film called Irreversible, which has a lot of sequences that he spoke about that he hates to see. So he'll probably hate that film. But
I
that's
kind
the
of like
beauty
the
of
films
cinema.
that be having a lot of fucked up shit. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but
maybe I'm
it's-
fucked up.
I'm fucked up too, rightfully
I
so.
like the
sir.
fucked up shit. Like then it was fucked up. I be eating popcorn like.
Yeah, but also
maybe.
what he said is a brilliant message
Nah,
though.
for sure though.